It had a concussion.
That digital concussion. That's my first time ever hearing that.
It's like a Radiohead knockoff.
We have intro music, and it's probably actually happening right now, technically, because we're introducing the podcast. Because here we go. Hey, everybody. We're on Figuring It Out, and we have more guests today, but this is Linda, if you've never met Linda. And we've got today with us Nate and Rett. Nate, Bryan, and Rett Krome, two of our students. We're going to get to them in just a second. Linda, how was your weekend?
It was good. It was busy.
Yeah.
Yesterday about took me out, but that's all right.
Yesterday, all right, so yesterday was Sunday, and it was Fifth Sunday. The Fifth Sunday, which is a quarterly thing, and we usually do some sort of big breakfast for our students and for anybody who's like listening or watching and they don't know what we do. We all are together. Instead of small groups, we all come together, we eat, and we worship together in a student-led worship, and I usually preach, and it's just fun. I love Fifth Sunday. You guys like Fifth Sunday?
I do like Fifth Sunday.
We're going to get into that with these guys because they were big leaders for Fifth Sunday and they have been for several years now, and I'm just proud of these guys and proud of the way our team worked, man. Everything went off without a hitch.
It did. I mean, we ran out of bacon.
Well, that's because of Nate's brother, Jake, who piled it was high. His pile of bacon.
He took a lot of bacon.
When I do my after action report, it's going to be don't let Jake serve his own bacon.
Yeah, it would probably be best for leaders to serve the bacon to the students.
But we'll get there.
Right.
Some have very little self-control.
Well, and
I saw more self-control with the whipped cream than I thought I would.
Yeah, well, I had originally planned for an adult to serve the canned whipped cream, but then students started grabbing it, and it was going okay.
Once it gets grabbed, there's no putting that genie back in the bottle.
Yeah. But it went well. I think I was the only one who kind of caused a scene.
We had. What kind of scene did you? I didn't even see the scene.
Quiet, worshipful moment.
Yeah.
Because the band got real quiet as I'm going for the empty can.
If it makes you feel better, we didn't hear it.
I definitely didn't hear it.
The people the girls at the table were and I'm laughing this is embarrassing.
Right.
But
It's okay.
I would have gotten onto a student for it, but I'm like, you know what?
Just let it happen.
YOLO.
Yeah, it's okay.
YOLO. Miss Linda does what she wants. So.
YOLO. Linda's on fleek. That's a joke from last week, by the way.
Is that just something we say?
That's just something Linda says.
Oh, okay. Got it.
But not in real life.
But not in real life.
That's probably smart.
She is a living meme, is what Linda is. She likes to make fun of the old stuff.
Memes.
I see them on your story.
They're
you
my
do
love
post
language.
A lot of memes.
Memes and GIFs are my love language. There's an actual love language of GIFs. That one's not my actual love language, but I love memes.
On the side, love language. Yeah, for sure.
My
They're
brother
fun.
and I will go for weeks, and that's all we speak in is memes and sending things back and forth. And then it's hey, actually, what's up?
Right.
Well, I can have a whole conversation in GIFs. Just GIFs.
Yeah.
Just bam, bam,
There's
bam,
so
bam,
many for so many. You can just
there's
type in
literally anything.
You type in a phrase and it'll have a GIF. I call it GIF. I don't know. Sorry. I'm that
Well,
kind of,
the G is hard in the actual
graphic,
format.
but okay. I mean,
but it just sounds better.
The A in aeronautical does not sound like and it's NASA. So I mean,
that's true.
I guess that's a good point. You got a good point. Rhett's on YouTube as Space Boy. I don't know if you've ever seen that.
Am I still? It wasn't. It was NASA Kid, but I don't think I am
NASA
anymore.
Kid.
That was Space Boy.
There was a long backstory to that.
Hilarious.
It was
because it
was because of the whole remember the whole flat Earth thing with the dudes down in Auburn.
Nate had a full on Nate and his dad, or Rett and his dad had a full on just throwdown with the flat earthers.
Deep biblical conversation with some people that claimed that the Bible backed up flat Earth, and all the comments.
It does not.
A bunch of the comments were it got deleted. I went to.
So
try
you've
to
got
find
a NASA engineer and his kid, who they named NASA Boy, and
I was like, well, I'm going to comment on this video, and I'm just going to make it obvious that I was the kid in the video. So I was just like, NASA Kid, and then I was like, that's really dumb. I'm not going to hold on to that.
But here we are.
But then you made it your YouTube name?
Joseph I changed it back. It was that so I could, when I commented, it would stay like that and they'd see it.
Yeah. Sure. Right. Whatever you say.
So we're just ready to jump into discussion with these guys. They're already kind of in it anyway. But Linda, let's do this. All right. we did this with Maddie when she was on. I love this just to get to know you guys for everybody who doesn't know you, because there are a lot of people that listen that don't know our youth. They're like, there's a lot of people just checking it out.
We're trending in South Africa. Did y'all know that?
Trending in
Really?
South Africa.
Wow.
Like
That's
we're in the top
Top 100 religious podcasts in South Africa.
Hey.
Really?
Yeah, shout
for
out to
whatever
South
that's
Africa.
worth. Yeah.
Shout out to South Africa.
You know,
That's
you got
awesome.
Hillsong that's probably number one
Right.
in whatever they're doing because South Africa, and then way down at like 99. Here we are.
Here we are.
Hey,
Wow.
I'll take it.
That's crazy.
How many monthly listeners is that?
I don't know.
In South
What?
Africa?
In South Africa.
Have we got any new data?
South Africa?
No, on listeners in general.
12.
Probably 400 or 500 individual people who have checked it out at least once. And each episode
Awesome.
is about 150.
That's solid.
Dude, that is solid.
That's really,
Wow.
that's solid.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest, I didn't expect
That is-
this. That's crazy.
It's good.
Yeah.
And so,
Considering when we asked the teenagers, we're like, who's listening to Figure It Out? And they're like, what?
like 2 hands
Yeah.
go up.
I'm gonna be honest, I don't listen to podcasts that often.
I'm not a big.
See,
I'm
some
not
people
a
do,
big
some people
podcast
don't.
guy.
We're
I'm a
just
big
throwing this
music
out
guy,
as
so
a
like-
one. This is a journey for us, like just to put out a new resource for people, and 2, we want to give you guys a platform to talk about your faith and what you would challenge like other students with. So I think I would like to see the data after like our Maddie episode to see if it like went up, because students getting on here I think is going to be the important thing. You are listening without Caleb today because he gave up his mic to Nate.
Thank you,
and-
Caleb.
Well,
I
yeah,
appreciate
it is Nate because we asked Rett to get on here first, and Rett's like, "Let me bring my boy Nate," and so we were like, "All right," and Caleb gave up his mic.
Yeah.
We appreciate it, Caleb.
Thank you,
So
Caleb.
you might hear Caleb yell from the background, but
Talkback
he,
box.
he's not going to be at Megadesk today.
We might have just lost some viewers.
I know, like I feel
Sorry.
like they might have been here for Caleb,
We'll
but
try
anyway,
and make up for it.
where we
Good
were
band
going,
name.
where I was about to go is like you guys. All right, we'll say seniority rules. So when I ask a general question, we'll let Rhett speak first and then Nate, unless you just are dying and like
It's okay.
oh, you guys have good
I
chemistry.
concede it.
You
I
can
concede
figure it out.
Yeah, he can have it.
This is what it's all about, figuring it out.
Yeah. And we talk over each other all the time,
That was
as
smooth.
evidenced by.
That's right.
That's good.
Give us 3 facts that most people don't know about you.
Ooh.
Now consider these are people are watching that just don't know you at all.
Right.
Most
Interesting
of
facts.
them probably know who you are. They might
Yeah.
not know you intimately.
Right.
Okay, so I don't know. I'm a real big like trivia nut. I'm the Scholars Bowl captain at
Yeah.
Bob Jones. So that's kind of I don't know. I guess if you don't really know me, you just know who I am.
Listen,
That's
how many
something-
organizations are you in leadership with, Rhett? Because
I mean, really not that many because I don't do any of the honor societies or like.
well,
bingo
you're the
club or
race car
anything.
driver.
Right. So yeah, I'm a race manager for Patriot Racing. I'm a captain for Scholars Bowl.
FCA leader.
FCA leader.
FCA. That's really about it. And then like
Well,
I do theater, but
Worship
it's not,
team captain.
a captain.
But that's not
yeah,
with
whatever.
school. That's just
he
with
is,
us.
you are definitely the worship team band leader.
Varsity worship team.
Yes, varsity worship.
We'll get you a Letterman jacket.
Oh, hey.
Okay. That could be our thing.
3 things. That's Okay, so Scholars Bowl.
What would be
admit-
your trivia like? What would be your trivia
I'm
topic?
so good at this usually.
My best category is, I mean, it's so like range of knowledge is just so random.
Like Jeopardy, you're going to say,
But
"I'll take whatever."
My
for
absolute
100.
best is probably like geography.
Okay.
Like,
All right.
That's true.
So when we mentioned South Africa, you knew right where we were talking.
oh yeah.
Exactly what you're talking about.
Okay. Another one is Nate knows this, and I guess you'd probably know this. I really like to snowboard. Snowboarding is I've played just about every sport there is, but there's nothing that I enjoy more than snowboarding.
It's really too bad
So,
you live in Alabama.
It is, and we have one ski resort in Mentone, but
Isn't it terrible?
well, I mean it is, but
Wait,
it's better than
wait.
nothing.
All right, we'll talk
closed.
about this off
Sorry,
air because I
sorry.
need to know more about what that is.
It closed last year, so it might be back. It was closed for COVID, so I couldn't go there because it's real cheap. Okay, one more thing.
So I bet when I pitched a ski trip to you yesterday, Rhett would have been like, yeah.
Mentone.
Yeah.
For those of you
Mentone,
who
here we
might
come.
be in South Africa right now, Mentone is like a little out
get
of
what you
nowhere
hear.
place where we live.
Yeah, it's middle of nowhere.
Okay, I'll let Nate give a few and try to
right.
think of one.
All right.
Let's see. I have 2. One y'all already know, but it's still interesting. I had a pet tarantula for the majority of my life.
Yeah, this is gonna be your go-to.
It was
until
yes, it is because it was 11 years old. I got it when I was 6. It died when I'm 17. So I mean, I had it it went with me through so many.
Give us
things.
the name.
What was his
Tell
name?
us his
Yeah.
name.
Bomb dropper.
Bomb dropper.
I was 6. Okay, I was 6.
It's an awesome name.
It's
dude.
okay. That
For a
is an
tarantula,
awesome.
That's
yeah.
incredible.
Yeah.
It's true. He had a great
I
life.
can't think of a better name.
Yeah, I know. Really, like I sat there and I was like, "Is this really what I want it to be?" And I was like, "Yes, this is what I want it to be." And second fact is, I'm not sure that since I was about 3 years old that I've gone a week without drinking chocolate milk. Like I would say, for a solid at least 6 years, I've had chocolate milk every day. Like
Every day.
yeah, I drink a lot of milk. I
impressive.
love
Strong,
chocolate milk.
strong bones.
Yeah.
Yes,
Do you have
indeed.
do you do a custom mixture or do you buy some pre-made chocolate milk?
I get the Hershey's syrup. I like
Yeah.
I know there's Nesquik and stuff, but Hershey's syrup is just my favorite. That's just
So you
just
you,
classic.
You have your ratio that you
Yes.
like of Hershey's
Yeah.
syrup.
I have
in
like
there.
for each cup that I use, my bad. For each cup that I use, like with milk, I have like a certain line that I'll like fill the chocolate syrup up to, and I know like that's the sweet spot.
That's the sweet spot.
Are you a skim milk guy, like a whole milk 2%?
right now I'm drinking skim milk, but I was on whole milk for a while. But really, like
nothing like whole milk, guys?
I know, yeah.
I've had
It's
skim milk like my
really
whole
good.
life because outside of like obviously a child,
Yeah.
and I don't outside of home. Or I mean, inside of home, outside of home. Like
Wait, where are we at? We're in the
no,
home.
so like milkshakes and stuff, and other. If you get like a chocolate milk from the store, like it's not gonna be skim. But my whole life has been skim milk, and so when I like drink like eggnog or something at the holidays, I'm like, this is so thick and rich.
Yeah.
Because to me, milk is
Eggnog is a different
milk-
animal
Yeah.
anyway.
Well, I know, but it's still milk is just like white water. Like
yeah.
Yeah.
Skim
Skim
milk,
milk
skim
is
milk.
it's
Right.
water lying
And
about
so-
being milk.
Yeah.
Is what it is.
Ron Swanson quote.
Well,
Okay,
oh,
so
that's
that's
Ron
the-
Ron
Burgundy.
Burgundy.
That's Ron
the
Burgundy.
third
Close
fact might be the same for me and Nate. I'm a huge Parks and Rec fan.
Oh,
like
yeah.
absolutely my favorite show. I think I could probably find a way to come up with a quote from every episode. Like it is just
Probably.
I love that show.
Classic.
love that show.
It's
Classic.
wild. I mean, y'all sang 5,000 Candles in the Wind
We
the
did.
other night, and
That was fun.
if I
I would
had
do
a
that
lighter,
again.
I would have had it out.
Well,
Mr.
I
Eric-
got a
Mr.
bunch
Eric
of cell
did.
phones in there. I
Yeah.
got a
Yes,
bunch of
Mr.
cell-
Eric had his
Well,
cell phone.
well,
Well,
We saw
he
that
got
one.
his cell phone out, and I made him turn the flashlight off so he could record it.
You know what you got to get though
fair.
is there's an app and it's the lighter app. This was my dad's favorite thing at every Beasley Brothers concert when they'd play like like a lighter kind of song, not just
Yeah, not
he
just
would get it out and it's got like a Zippo lighter and you pop it open and so it's just on the screen and it's a lighter.
Oh, that's awesome.
That was
I've seen that.
Fun
And
little
you could
gimmick
actually
app.
like do your phone like that, and it will flip open.
Yep.
Yeah, I've
Yeah.
seen
Stop.
that. Yeah, it will.
Look, I'll be ready.
It's
Like,
kind of like the
that's what I'm
Whip
gonna do
app.
right
Like,
after
have you
this.
seen the Whip? It's like
Uh-huh.
when you do that, and it's like.
Right.
All right, so we got 3 facts from Rett. You got one more, Nate.
Let's see. I did children's choir for 4 years at this church. I don't know if y'all knew that.
What led you right into worship team?
Exactly. Yeah, that's actually true because I did it with Maddie for forever. Were you in that, Rhett?
I was never in it because I
No,
didn't
I just-
start coming here till like 5th grade, so
I
like
knew
halfway
you
through.
because
So
of
by
Well,
the time
Rett
I
was slow coming into vocals. He started with like
Yeah,
bass.
True. I'm
Yeah,
still
yeah,
slow
guitar.
coming into vocals.
And then there was one day where like all of our vocalists had whatever going on, and Rett
Right.
was like, "All right, I'm gonna have to step up and do this."
And he did it.
And that
he
was the
did
day,
it.
and there was
Now
no
look at
going
him.
back. So
I guess.
it was a
Here
good
he
day.
is.
I remember it. I remember that day.
Wow. A day that will live in infamy.
However you want to look at it.
right.
So, guys, all right. So we got fun facts. Give me sort of in your own words when you met Jesus, like when Jesus came into your life, when you gave your heart and life to Him as Lord. Like, tell us about that story, that part of your testimony.
So for me, it would have been springtime when I was like, let's see, I was in 3rd grade, so I would have been 9. That was when I first kind of I had been thinking for a while like I want to let Jesus into my heart, but I didn't really know, and I still
This would have been about the time you came to Cross Point, right?
No, I didn't come to Cross Point until the first time I came was the 2015 the Christmas concert it was when I was in 5th grade. So
How old are you?
I was
fifth
in-
grade?
I was in
10?
fifth grade in
10
20.
years
no,
old.
I
in
was
fifth grade?
I was
10 or 11.
11 in 5th grade.
Okay.
So because I'm old for my grade. So like
Oh.
so no, it was before we had maybe just started at Capshaw.
Gotcha.
And at the time, the youth pastor at Capshaw was Chip Dean. I don't know if you know Chip.
I don't.
He was awesome. He moved to Atlanta a few years ago, but he was great. And so I did, I've been doing a lot of thinking, and I kind of it kind of just hit me one day, like, this is something like I need to kind of talk to my parents about. Like, this has kind of been eating at me for a while. And so then I think it was September 1st, because I think it was fourth grade, and I'm pretty sure it was Labor Day weekends, and that would have been, I think in 2013, that was September 1st. I got baptized, and that day it was really great. But I will say, like, looking back, I really don't think I understood, because when I was with FCA, one thing that we do every year is PLT, Power Leadership Training. And when I was in 7th grade, I had my first PLT, and there was a guy named Adrian Dupree who used to be a team chaplain for South Carolina football, I think, and then Tennessee football. And he came and he spoke, and he did the 4 chairs message, which you've heard, and then I did it that one night. It's a really powerful demonstration, and that kind of made me realize, like,
that was the night of the tornado, by the way.
Was it?
Remember that?
Oh yeah, we had to shut it down.
We had to shut everything down.
Yeah,
That was.
yeah.
I was like,
because I had one more song after, and I was like,
yeah. But he did that demonstration, which is basically, there's 4 chairs, and one of them is you're real close to Christ, and one of them is you're not even anywhere near. And I kind of realized, like, everything that I've been doing and saying, like, I really think I believe it, but I'm not showing it in my personal life. And so that would have been August or September when I was in 7th grade, so I was 13. So it had been like 3 years. And I kind of realized, like, I really need to make some changes in this. That is when I really consider, like, a turning point in my life. Not when I was younger, but that's really when I think, like, hey, this is where I really accepted Christ and where I really got a lot closer to him.
well, for the chair message, lots of youth pastors have taken that illustration and used it. And for the chair message, if you're not familiar, there's on one end of the spectrum, there's 4 chairs sitting there, and it's basically a spectrum of belief. And you're either far away from Christ, like not even close to being a believer, all the way to being a believer, like you said. But then there's some dangerous in between chairs. Right. There's the kind of seeking and interested in faith, but not there. And then there's the dangerous third chair, which is you are fluent in Christianese, but you're not a Christian, right? You know how to do church, you know how to act Christian, but there's been no life change, there's been no transformation. You don't have a relationship with Jesus. So are you saying, like, you might have been in that third chair and moved to the...
I don't really... So I had grown up in church, and I think that I really did. I was probably more in that second chair, which is you do believe, but you're not showing it in your day-to-day life. You're not leading others. And I really don't know if I was in the second or third chair. Like, then I think I probably considered that I was in the third chair, because there was a whole, like, separate and go, there was kind of the invitation to accept Christ. Yeah. And I took that because looking back, I probably was in that second chair. I grew up in church. Like, I 100% believed everything, but I definitely wasn't living it day to day. And so, yeah, I guess more that second chair is where I was. Because, like I said, I believed it, but I wasn't going out and leading other people to Christ. And that's, especially as an FCA leader, like, that's why I was at PLT. That's what I should have been doing. Yeah. And so.
True.
Cool.
So I've gone to Cross Point all my life since I was born. So we started at the church across from Bob Jones. And my parents, smack dab. My parents were at the Eastview Church. So, Eastview. Yeah, Eastview Slaughter Church, even when Cross Point started back up, and my dad had gone to Whitesburg when he was growing up in Huntsville, so he had known John for years. So we've just always gone here.
That's where your parents met, right?
They met at UAH.
Oh, okay.
But I think
they sort of both got involved with Pastor John's singles ministry.
Yeah, they immediately started going to church together, like, as soon as they, like, got together. So I had been going here my entire life, and I grew up in church and stuff, so I knew, like, the basis of everything. Throughout my childhood, obviously, like, I understood Jesus died on the cross and he rose again for my sins, and everything like that. So I know when I was 9, it was 2014. It was like late January, and Pastor John was doing a sermon on faith, and I don't remember what the line was because I was like 9, but it was a very, like, simple but moving line about, like, it was something along the lines of, if you believe, you'll know. And it was like, he would like kind of explain that. So I remember after that sermon, I went home and I had a Bible, and it was like a smaller, like just New Testament Bible, I think. So I read through part of that, and I like prayed over it a little bit, and I felt something in me. And I think that was like the first time I really felt the Holy Spirit. So I went and talked to my parents about it, and I was like, I feel something in me, and I know it's God, in a way that a 9-year-old would say it. And and I truly did believe that Jesus died on the cross and that he rose again. Like I really believed that had happened. So I told my parents that, and they set up a meeting with Pastor John, and I talked to him about it, and he talked to me about what I believed and stuff. And I truly believed, even though I was young, that Jesus was the Lord. So I remember I talked with Pastor John about that for like 45 minutes for an hour, and then he led me to Christ. And I remember just immediately after that, I felt something overwhelming come inside of me, and I knew it was the Holy Spirit. Mm-hmm. So from that point, I knew I was saved, and then I got baptized the next week or so. And just from that point on, I mean, like I was young, so I didn't know everything I know now, but I knew I was saved. And from that point, I think it's just built up. And as I've got more involved with the church and just studied my faith more, and I've gotten older, I truly realized that I know I was saved, and how I'm going to build on that from this point. So, I mean, I know I was saved from that day, and that was an awesome day. I remember that. I truly felt the Holy Spirit just like fill me. Yeah. And that feeling, or the thought of that, will never go away. So, yeah.
That's awesome.
Thanks.
Yeah, I think that's a really important thing that people need to know about our stories as Christians. Like, if they're seeking for faith, is like, there's an obvious moment where the lights sort of turn on, and when you absolutely repent and believe and place your faith in Jesus, like the action of the Holy Spirit entering your life and filling you for that first time, like it's an obvious transformation.
You'll know it.
People, it's funny listening. I get to lead people in that kind of conversation a lot, and it's just always so interesting the way they express that and communicate what that. It's like some people are like, it's just like a warm feeling inside. I'm like, or it's just funny.
Yeah.
So I'm always entertained.
And I like what you said, like, you didn't know it all then. And I think that's important to underline at any age.
I was going to say that too, yeah.
Yeah, at any age, like when you put your faith and trust in Jesus, the rest just kind of falls.
Yeah.
Like, it'll come.
Yeah.
Like, it comes through experience. And we talked about it a couple weeks ago in our small group discussions.
Yeah,
it's
we
like,
did talk about that.
each time you have like another light bulb moment, it doesn't mean the first one wasn't real.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
just
and,
adding on.
That's when you're sharing your faith with someone else, at school or, wherever you are. If that conversation comes up, a lot of times people's first hurdle is, I don't know enough to be saved. I don't know enough to be a Christian. Right. I don't know enough about the Bible or whatever. But that's a really good thing to communicate is it doesn't matter. I didn't know everything, but I knew that I believed in Jesus and what he said he did and what he was doing. I believe that. So that's really ground zero for faith, and that's all you need. There's people on their deathbed that have rejected Christ their whole life, and they might not have ever read their Bible, but if they come to the point of, I'm going to die and I don't know where my eternity is going to be, and you're like, at the like people's thoughts go, I don't know what, this is going to be a tangent, but I don't know what I would start thinking if I was on my deathbed. Like, what do you start thinking about? And
you have no ground in faith or anything.
And you just have to start thinking, what is actually true? And a lot of people come to the realization of what all these people believe must be true, and you start to kind of, I have to believe that that's the Holy Spirit speaking to that person of like, one last chance, come on. And so they don't have to know anything else, but they can be saved. So I think that's the super cool thing about Jesus.
That is awesome,
right? He'll take you no matter what, and no matter when.
No matter when,
So you guys, we've already mentioned that you're the team captain of the worship team, basically, is what we like to say.
Right.
Nate, you've been on the worship team for years, and recently, it hasn't been that long since you started singing.
No, it was. I would say the first time I sang was when we were still doing revival nights. Over the
So
summer,
we started those revival nights because
I think it would have been February or March.
Yeah, it
'Cause
was,
I think
sometime
it was
early.
it was
after-
really one of our first revivals.
Yeah.
And when we say revival, for everybody listening that doesn't know what that means, is like when COVID hit, we could only use the sanctuary, and we could only use it one Wednesday out of the month. So I was like, well, that's not really a midweek thing because it's not every week. So let's just kind of redefine it. And, I was trying to kind of pump some momentum into it. I was like, let's call it revival nights and all that. And then all of a sudden Nate gets up, and he's been playing bass for like a year or something. And he gets up with his bass, and then all of a sudden they give him a mic. Yeah. And I was like, what?
Crazy.
What's happening?
And then it sounded like some of these outlaw country guys. Like
that was when you did My Chains Are Gone, and it was the Lane Staley Staley My Chains Are Gone.
Yeah.
That was
if you've never heard this guy sing, like you're
like-
talking.
I was at
grunge.
that revival
It's
night,
just
and I
90s
went.
grunge,
I
yeah.
went home and I told Eric, I was like, he's got this like Bob Dylan,
Yeah.
like just this unique voice. And so then I pull up the live stream.
Right.
Like
yeah.
you gotta hear it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I listen to a lot of '90s grunge,
And it's always on key. Like always.
Yeah.
Dude's got perfect pitch. He just doesn't know it.
I try my best.
I just remember, like, because he was in the youth choir, and you sang with Maddie. Maddie was like, Nate has this incredible voice, and so I had known about it like for a while. And I remember he was in my theater class, his freshman year, and I was like, I was jokingly like, "Come on, Nate, like sing for us." And then I heard him sing, and I was like, "Okay, cool." And so we had this revival night, and I guess we had maybe lost a couple vocalists, and I was still not at the point where I was ready to sing in front of you. It had been maybe 6 months since you had kind of been like, all right, you're going to start leading everything because Maggie had graduated.
Yep.
And I was like, Nate, you're going to come and sing, and I'm also going to teach you to play bass enough to play it in church.
Yeah, I hadn't been playing bass long before I started singing because originally when I joined youth band, I just wanted to sing. But since Maggie had left and she was playing guitar, he had to move to guitar, and we needed somebody to do bass, so I was like, I'll do bass. And then I just eventually started singing from there.
Yeah,
So,
bass is sort of that instrument that's a little bit easier to get into,
Especially in church, because in church
you're playing like
play
three
the root.
chords, and
Yeah.
it's like
It's-
just a bass rhythm. Yeah,
Yeah, it's very
easy.
easy. It's very easy.
but you guys
you
have
can
gotten
make it
pretty
as
good.
fun as you want.
Yeah.
Like,
Rhett's a veteran bassist, but
He
you've
is.
gotten pretty good in your own right.
Yeah.
So that's cool. But I want to take
Yeah.
a poll real quick. All right,
Okay.
poll time. Caleb, I want you to shout out this too. Favorite worship song. Favorite worship song
to
of all
play or
time.
to sing? Because it's
To
different. It's different
worship
for me.
to
Acoustic
right?
or full band?
Doesn't matter. I'm saying if I was saying, hey, you get 5 minutes to just have your just listen to a worship song. You go through your playlist of worship songs. What's it going to land on?
No Longer Slaves.
No Longer Slaves. That's a good one.
Dude, like I feel like I don't know. I really like Another in the Fire. I heard that for the
That's a
first
good
time
one.
this summer, but I think it would have to be what's the name of the song? The
Great
one
I Am?
Yeah, Great I Am.
Great
We played every
I saw that coming.
every single
That's a banger.
every
Such a
time
good
we play
song.
an event, I'm like, all right, we're closing with Great I Am. It's every time. It's probably been like 4 or 5 events since I've been leading, and I'm like, we're closing with Great I Am.
Yeah.
Like it's too much. It's too good.
It's all right. It's such a good song.
All right,
It
Linda.
really
Good
is.
song.
What's yours?
Mine is Because He Lives,
Because He Lives.
like the hymn version,
Oh,
not the
okay.
prison
Okay.
worship, like the OG.
Okay.
OG.
All right. Caleb.
Before the throne.
Before the Throne.
That's a good one.
All right.
Solid.
Mine's In
Solid.
Christ Alone.
Yep, good song.
Without the extra tag, like the original In Christ Alone.
That's one of my favorites to sing. I can't play that one because you got to stay in my voice and Nate's voice. I don't think any of us. I don't know about Caleb. You got to have an incredible range to
Yeah.
sing it and jump, make that jump.
yeah.
And I tried to schedule it like a few months ago, and I was like, no, none of us.
happening.
But I will tell
Maybe
you,
Lexi
No,
can do
guys,
that.
yeah,
But
yeah.
I think I've always loved it. But I'll tell you the coolest moment was when I got to seminary. And my seminary was like at least 80, maybe higher than that percent men, right? And when we were in chapel, we'd go to chapel, and every so often they'd play In Christ Alone, and you would hear that room of dudes and like your ladies sprinkled in, just like go like try to blow the roof off of Hodges Chapel, and it was like I was like, this is it, and it was awesome. So
that is a good song, for sure.
So let's talk about worship then. Let's kind of transition into that. And so your favorite worship songs going. How do you make that? You guys lead, and you've been leading for a while. How do you make it a worship experience and not just you're up there performing for people? And I know a lot of that's not on you, but in your mind, what is the difference there, and how do you try to lead that way?
I'd say one thing that I'm not very good at, but I'd like to get better at, that I try to do is like between songs, really like interact with the people that are not up on the platform with us.
Okay.
Because it's for them.
Yeah.
But the other thing, when I was in like elementary school and we started going to Capshaw, one thing that Capshaw did was they had a lot of lights and like smoke machines and stuff. And I remember my
we
dad,
just got a haze machine. Shout out to Caleb.
Yeah, we're about to start hazing everything.
Did you see that?
I did.
Comically,
somebody just walked past the window with a ladder.
with a ladder, and it was like
Entire
bumping
life.
up and down. It looked like a cartoon. I didn't even think I was laughing at you. It was just like a comically.
Anyway,
I'm glad you saw that.
place.
I'm like,
I looked over. I was like,
I saw her face, but I was like, I really hope that's not about me, like mentioning another church.
no.
That was
But
funny.
no, so they
As
did
long as they're lifted high in the name of Jesus, they're our friends.
They did the lights and
Another
the smoke
Johnism.
machine.
We talked about that.
And I remember my dad wasn't a huge fan of it, but for me, I liked it because it made it like. I think of worship as putting on a concert for God.
Okay.
And so we're praising his name, but I also I'm kind of imagining like we're entertaining him. And so I almost do kind of think of it as, I mean, it's not about me, obviously, but like whatever I feel when I'm like playing on stage or singing, like that is what I'm going to do. Cause it's not about me, it's about him. And I want it to be, like I said, to me, it's like a concert for God.
Yeah.
So I want it to be, I like when it's this really big experience.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. When you're on stage, I mean, most of the concerts, like if you watch any concert at all, the people on stage are the people that they're there for, right? But in church, it's different because they're not there for us; they're there for God. So before we go up there, I do pray, and I just ask that this would glorify God, and that we wouldn't do this. Like I try and imagine we're playing for an empty room. And it's just God in there, so that I know that doesn't affect how the people down there see us, but it affects why we're singing it, right? Or
Right.
why we're performing it. So I try and do that. I try and make sure that I'm in the right headspace, and then I'm just like, this is for God when we get up on stage. And also when I'm singing, I'll close my eyes a lot of times for like a few lines. I'll just like feel the music and just try and speak directly to God. And again, not focus on the people in the room, but just if my eyes are closed, that makes it a little bit easier to focus. And I'll move my hand, maybe like put my hand like halfway up because I'm holding the mic or bass or something. I'll try and put my hand halfway up, just like let God know that like I'm acknowledging him and this is for him, you know.
And if the people out there are engaged with what you guys are doing, they're going to kind of follow suit, and they're going to forget about the fact that there's a gap, and they're going to connect with the Lord like that.
That was definitely one thing when I started singing, and not just because when I'm playing, I can be 100% like focused on my instrument. If I can be looking down at the guitar or bass, and it's not that weird. When I started singing, I was like, where do I look? Like what do I look at? Yeah. And so like Nate said, I think closing your eyes is like a huge thing because you really focus on what the song means, and you're focusing on this interaction with Christ. And also just like, I really try to keep, when they're open, to kind of just look over everybody, because I don't want, it's, like I said, it's not about me. So I don't want to be looking at somebody and make it about me. It's about God. So I just
come to the edge of the stage, start giving high fives.
Right.
That's what I was thinking. Sorry. Like, when you if I like looking at the eyes of people that are in the audience, it's like I'm trying to communicate with them, and it's just it's kind of distracting. So
well, for me, like when I'm speaking, like I'm trying to look like at people,
right.
You need Jesus.
You're trying to speak to them though, which we're speaking to them, but we're doing it for God. And so I have a spot like straight back in the aisle, like it's just this blank part in the wall that I always look at, and it has like a little dot on it or like a little hinge or something. But one time, Mr. Eric was standing in front of it, so I had to move my eyes to the
Oh,
right.
6'7".
Yeah, I know.
Getting in your way back there.
I'm gonna start putting stuff on the wall back there, like
Just
I always look at the I always
something
look
different
at the,
every week
right.
to surprise you.
different
the light.
GIF.
The light in that back hallway is always on. And so
yeah,
it comes through one of the doors, and so I always look at the window in that door because it's like it's taller than everybody except Mr. Eric. If he was there, I'd have to look somewhere else.
I know.
But-
Yeah. He's like trying to block my eyes.
This is good to know, Eric. Watch where you're standing.
Yeah.
Watch out.
Come on, man.
Be
Know your height.
self-aware.
Why are you in the front row?
Yeah.
Be self-aware.
He would block everyone behind him. They wouldn't be able to see him.
Yeah. So has your view of worship, like you guys talk about interaction with Christ and how you're engaging with God and not with the people there, and how you're trying to keep it from being a performance and just a worship experience. Has that changed since you've been in like youth group? Like, has your view of worship changed much over the past, 4, 5, 6, 7 years?
I would say, like, for one, I don't think I realized, like, kind of the time that went into it when I was just, because I didn't really, I was rarely able to come on Wednesday nights because I played soccer really until sophomore year. Like,
Yeah.
and sophomore year is when I joined the worship team.
Soccer is the devil's sport.
It
Keeping everybody
takes so
out
much
on
time.
Sundays
I
and
That's
Wednesdays.
it.
missed Sundays and Wednesdays. Yeah, I was. But no, like when I started coming,
Sounds like it.
I think Mary Elizabeth might. I guess I don't know. It was. I didn't realize necessarily the time that they put in. Is that the ladder again? It's
But you can't see who's holding it. Like you can't see the hands. It's just a ladder. It's just,
We don't know who it is.
That's awesome. Sorry.
I have no clue what's happening.
So I totally I came to appreciate the like quality of the music a little bit more, because I remember when I was young, I would always be like, man, like saying the same words freaking 16 times. and I still feel that sometimes, but I think when you're playing it and you kind of break it down and realize what it means a lot more to you.
yeah.
And so I think I've really come to appreciate like the time that goes into it on your end and kind of on our end too. And I've also,
Of course, you guys did on the fly stuff Sunday
Well-
real well. Like
Yeah, and it was like
Got to improv. Yeah.
Yeah.
killer.
it was like all of a
Thank
sudden
you.
you realized like Pastor Shannon had taken like half the team, and
Yeah.
then you were like,
have
and
to
then
be there
Nate's
8
like,
o'clock.
hymn sing, guys. Let's time
The thing,
for some hymns.
hymns, you don't need a full band. I mean,
Yeah.
you can just feel it.
And you with the
Yeah.
Merle Haggard voice, I mean,
Sure.
you can really lay it down out
Yeah,
there.
man.
but yeah, I guess came to appreciate the time, and also really came to appreciate the music a lot more. Just because I don't think, like I said, when I was young, I think I was kind of just like I always enjoyed the music, but some of these songs, I was like, dude, like, all right, can I sit down, please? And now like worship is 100% my favorite part. Like if we had a service in there where I was standing up for an hour and a half, as long as I was singing, I'd be fine.
Yeah, for sure. Honestly, or not honestly, obviously, like I said, I've been here my entire life. So Pastor Rex led music worship for years before I was in youth and stuff. And I always loved, like, I don't know why, but just his song selection. It was a little bit like more mid 2000s, but I mean, it was good music, and I loved the way he did it. So that really shaped like my view of worship music for a while. And also, my mom played a lot of 88.1, 88.1, 88.9.
You talking about Way
It's
FM?
88.1.
Shout out, we need some sponsors, Way
Yeah,
FM.
yeah.
Come on.
FM.
But anyways, it was whatever the Christian station was. So she worked.
K-Love. No, K-Love's a...
It's
No,
88.
K-Love is
88.1
it's 88.1. Way FM
FM.
is 88.1.
Yeah.
Is that did they just play Christian music? Or
Yeah,
is that,
yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
I thought so.
I mean, K-Love is a thing.
Yeah, K-Love is like what? It's
But I'm thinking
It's
of Way
95
FM.
something or
I
another.
think so.
95.5.
That's awful.
I don't know.
I don't know, something like that. Anyways,
Way FM is better.
and mom worked in Fayetteville, so I would have to ride up with her to go to like or when I went to preschool up there, it would be like an hour drive every day. We would just listen to worship music the entire way there. So I got a lot of worship music when I was younger. And so when I got to youth, it was different because I think the first person I remember really like leading it and playing it was Jonathan Harvey. And he's an amazing guitar player. And he would sing some songs too. And I remember Maggie up there as well.
Yeah.
And so I remember just the songs they did were newer than ones we would hear in like actual service because younger people, I guess, I don't know, played newer songs and stuff, just newer releases. And it felt a lot more personal. And it was different because I mean in a service like the stage is what I mean even like physically just like 30 feet away or so. I mean if you're in the very back it's even farther away, but in youth like you're right up on the stage, yeah, and like you know these people personally that are playing and stuff, and so it just made it a lot more personal.
I was about to say, does that make it easier or more difficult to really worship?
Cooler, like it makes it easier because you're like, wow, these people that I'm friends with.
It's not just. It doesn't feel like golly, can't talk. When I started at Capshaw, which is really, I mean, I have memories from before Capshaw. I was at Madison Bible, but my first like worship memories of Capshaw, and the worship leader there at the time, I felt like this dude was like a superstar.
Yeah.
And now like being that for the youth, I'm like, no, it's just a regular guy. And it's really, I think it's really cool to be led by like to know like these are just your peers. Like this is.
I mean, it's just
that's always been important to me for you guys to like. I can get Pastor Shannon to like put me together an adult team that's gonna like come in there and do their thing and it's probably gonna be good. But like I would much rather hand it off to you guys who's gonna lead the people you see every day at school and stuff like that.
It's just it's cool because I mean if you know the people that are playing, you're not like, wow, these are rock stars. No, these are people who are just worshiping with you for Jesus. It's just like the music is coming from wherever they are.
They know how to play guitar.
Yeah, they know how to play guitar.
They can sing really well.
Sing. Yeah. And also like since I've started singing and like actually playing, I mean there's some worship songs you like more than others, right? And just some that you have biases towards. But when you play a song that you may not like as much, you really start to appreciate it and like it. Like I've grown to love so many worship songs that I hadn't really loved before, just because I don't know, when you sing them or you play them, it's just different. And maybe it's because you realize that it's for God. And it's not like I like these notes or these notes better. This chord progression isn't my favorite, whatever. No, you're like, no matter what, this is worshiping God, and that's awesome. And you really do just start to appreciate worship music a lot more.
Yeah. I mean, I got to that point and it was like all of a sudden like you're already kind of here. Like it took me a long time to get to the point where, and it's because I grew up in a church where it was like piano, organ, hymns, right? And that was it. Like contemporary music was, it's something that the youth group did and not very well. And because when I was good, like we had some guys who played guitar. But for whatever reason, my youth pastor just wanted to play and sing, and so and he wasn't great. So and
he had fun.
He had his favorite songs that he would do all the time, and so it was a little bit like, so when you went to a conference or something, you were blown away because there was like new expressions of worship that you never have heard or seen. So it took me a long time to get to the place where my theology of worship was such that I understood that no matter the song, it was all working to praise the Lord. And you're already kind of there because you guys choose the things that I used to hate. You guys choose hymns, which back in the day when I was 17, 18 years old, somebody would have said, let's do hymns in youth group. And I'd have been like, just kill me now. But no, like I love it. I'm glad you guys can see the validation of the hymns and things like that. I think that's really awesome.
Yeah, things that are, sorry, just real quick. Like something that really made me start loving hymns was listening to Elvis do hymns, because it is like good. It is
Nate, you are an old soul, my friend.
It sounds good. Trust me.
I really
Elvis doing hymns, like that's peak music.
He was the king, right?
He was. He still is.
Well,
he still is.
Little King, right?
Little K.
King.
Small K.
No, the king of rock and roll, not the king of kings and Lord of Lords. Let's just make sure that's
something I really like about the hymns is I feel like I don't know. I feel like they're just a little more like eloquent maybe in the way that they get the point of, like the one we played, I Stand Alone, or I Stand Amazed.
Well, you made the point a minute ago. It's like we're singing the same words for 100 different, like measures, and it's like hymns don't do that, right? They're bringing a lot more.
That just that first verse of I Stand Amazed, where it makes you realize like, wow, I suck. I couldn't do this. I couldn't do this without Jesus. It's like I don't know. It's I like. I mean, I love contemporary music. The 2000s worship music is like what I grew up on, and it is. I love it. Like most of my favorite worship songs probably came out between 03 and 08. Like it's just great time.
Yeah.
But there's something about the
just
old
different.
hymns. It's fun.
I love a lot of the newer music these days are starting to go back to that hymn type of writing, and it's not these like choruses that go on forever. It's like we're moving through, like there's a point
like
A
a
and a
story.
point B
Yeah.
to it.
Yeah.
You know, that's what I love about hymns. It's like it all builds until this just like crescendo of worship, and that's why I love In Christ Alone. Like when you get to the point of like he came out of the grave, and it's like, ooh,
Yeah. Oh,
hello light.
I love hymns. I love when y'all do hymns.
me too. I like slower worship songs better than like hype worship songs. Like if we could just do only slow worship songs, I would. Of course, I mean there's some songs that like start out slow and build,
Right.
like King of My Heart, like that starts out slow and it has like a few measures of just like awesome hypeness. But
I like the ones that are slow, but they're still really powerful. So like Great I Am. Great I Am is, so I mean just coming back to it though, it's a slow song, but the build I also, with that being said though, I really like the fast ones. I like kicking off with
Well,
something.
that bridge in The Great I Am is just like
Yeah.
it is top level.
Yes.
Bridges in worship music have got to be some of the best writing just in general. Like
S tier, yeah.
they're good.
It's so good.
So, all right, what are let's kind of, apart from worship music, we're talking about your time in youth group. Like, what's been some of your favorite memories from you're about to graduate. You look back, some of your favorite memories of youth group, Nate. Like, you're kind of right. You've got another year left, but like you've still made some good memories.
Yeah,
so, what are some of your favorite, like the things you'll talk about youth group forever?
One would definitely be D Now, my sophomore year, when I took one step on a trampoline at altitude and then fell and took all the skin off the back of my arm because I slid on a trampoline.
Oh, that's right.
That was still fun. That weekend was great.
That was a good D now.
That was a really good D
That
now.
was our
we
most.
we should go back to a trampoline park.
Well, our
Anyways,
liability
should.
insurance
Yeah,
at the church says we can't do that anymore.
after somebody
Never
scraped
mind.
all the skin off
After-
his forearm,
after there was
we
one
can't go
incident,
back to the trampoline park.
No, that D now was
That was great. And
lit.
was that Passion City that did the music for that?
Yeah.
They were. That was.
Oh my
that
gosh,
music
is that
was
your friends
great.
from Atlanta?
Yeah.
I follow them. Oh my gosh, I love
Jordan
them.
and
Yeah, Jordan.
his
The dude that he
wife,
puts his
Mary.
head to the left. Oh, I love that guy. When he sings, yeah, right. That's him, right? Like when he sings.
I don't know
he
that
goes
I've
like that.
noticed that.
You
but
have? Do you know what I'm talking about?
I
Like
think I know
he'll
what
hit
you
a high note and go like this. Oh, it's so awesome. I love them. They're coming back this year, right?
no, we've got Liberty Worship.
They're coming
supposed to
back
be.
okay.
for summer though.
They're
right?
coming.
For the
They're
wave?
coming.
Yeah,
We're
for the
taking them to the
summer.
wave. We're taking
Oh,
them
yes,
up to
that's
Byeeee.
gonna be
So we're gonna
great.
have an extended period of time with them.
Oh, cool.
So
okay, yeah.
that I would also say this last summer at Shaco, the Austin Stone guys. So this is still a lot of this is
Austin
worship,
Stone,
but
man.
that
Oh,
was
man.
those
They were
songs.
good.
So when we were talking about some of my favorites, some of the songs that they introduced us to, they're originals, and then also they did a Maverick City Promises. That's a good song.
Yeah.
And then I'd say the last one is just, like I really just enjoy like some of the stuff we do on Sundays during the summer, like in the afternoons, the like mud volleyball
Yeah,
and
yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
gosh,
Some
that
of
was
our crazy
volleyball.
stuff.
Mud
Campfire nights. all
Oh,
that
we
kind
got
of
house
stuff.
parties, dude. Those were so much fun.
those
The
were awesome.
pre-COVID,
Yeah.
the playing basketball in the Jackson's driveway.
Yeah.
That was
House
great.
parties were great.
Those were great. So yeah, that kind of just the general stuff that you do in any youth group. But I don't know. I guess the people that we do it
Yeah,
with.
it's about the connections, right?
Took all the good answers.
All right, Nate.
I remember when Samuel Clemens still went here, and he led my Sunday night group when I was in what 7th grade or so.
Oh yeah,
Those were awesome. I love those because we would.
he had
play,
just graduated.
Yeah, he had just graduated, and we would play football or basketball for like an hour, and then he would order us pizza, and then he would always have good lessons. Like he
Yeah.
really studied those, and he brought me and the guys in my grade close together in that time, and that was awesome. In a time that we were just getting into middle school and stuff, and we needed guidance from somebody who was older and wiser, and he's wise for a college student. So
He
that-
was very committed to his faith. Like,
Yes,
and
he was
he didn't care
very-
what anybody. It was what was funny about Sam. It was like he didn't care if
did
anybody cared if he was a Christian or not. Like he was gonna be that guy.
Yeah.
But he was the personality type that everybody loved.
Yeah.
Right.
So it
He
was,
was
like
awesome.
like if you asked Samuel to like bring some friends to something, like he rolled deep. Like he'd bring like 20 guys with him
Yeah.
to something.
whole James Clemens football team.
Yeah, right.
He brought everyone. Yeah, he always had people like at the YMCA basketball
gosh,
nights.
dude.
No,
Those-
those were fun. The basketball tournaments.
3-on-3
Yeah.
tournaments.
That was always a good.
Are we doing that this year?
I don't know.
We should.
We
I
better.
think they're doing sort of something like that, but not that exact thing this year. I don't know. I don't know.
I heard
That's,
y'all talking to Eric.
that's
the other
Pastor
day.
Mark's world.
Yeah, we're recruiting him.
That's Pastor Mark's world. I just help with it. I do the 3-on-3 tournament for him. That's what I do. So
And then another thing. Oh, D now my 7th grade year, I believe. It was me and Caleb, and 8th grade year. That was fun too. That was a good one too, because 7th grade.
Linda,
7th
what
grade,
I'm hearing
every
is a
D now.
lot of memories come
Yeah.
from D now.
From D now.
Indeed.
Was that, which
So-
one was it when Nathan Renfro broke your trampoline?
I think that was 7th grade.
You guys got to get on the
'Cause I
phone
only-
about this year's D now.
I only
Yeah,
got to
y'all start
I only
making
got
some
to go to
calls
one.
because
I have-
we need people.
We're talking. We're gonna get some of our. I
I've
think-
asked Isaac and Caleb and Josie and
calling them out on the podcast.
yeah.
This is going into the world, and we're calling them out on the podcast.
We're gonna put this video on the screen Sunday morning. Be like, just so everyone knows.
and we've
People
also we've got some friends that come on Wednesday.
Yeah.
Like Bender.
Oh,
We asked
yeah, yeah,
Bender
yeah.
and
Like
Sherry if
Riley?
they- His name is Ryan.
I know. I felt
you did
so
not know
bad
that.
when
That
I
was-
messed his
that was
name up.
funny.
It's okay.
You did it
Twice.
twice.
Well,
It was funny.
What did you call him the
should've
first
just
time?
The first time I called him Max because I really did get him and the Max you guys bring sometimes
Yeah.
confused. Then I was looking at Riley Wallfield and I was thinking Ryan,
Yeah.
and I said Riley, and I was like, "This is the
No.
worst thing ever." So I feel bad. Ryan, dude, I know your name, man. I'm gonna come watch you run track
You made
this
it
year.
so obvious when you went, and we have Matt, and then you like died off, and I was like,
Well, I was trying to do the die off thing on purpose, but
Oh,
then
really?
I thought I really had his name right. I didn't.
You thought you
that
did
was not
something cool.
because that was not because I realized I messed it up. I was like, I thought it was Max.
well, it just bad timing then.
Bad timing.
It was funny. He
It is
doesn't
okay.
care. It's,
Yeah,
it's
no,
Ryan.
But
but-
Ryan, man,
What was that?
I'm gonna
Just
buy you a
trying
cheeseburger.
to get people like that to D now because
Yeah,
it's
no,
always
for sure.
it's really fun.
D now is awesome.
I will say one thing about D now from so my grade. The last time we had D now, we probably had like 7 or 8 guys, and it was very interesting.
In your
'cause-
house?
Well, it was a yes, yeah, but because it was all the seniors, all the senior guys. There were only like 8 of us, so
Okay.
and
Yeah, there was a couple
One-
of senior classes that didn't really have many guys at all.
One
That came
thing,
through.
well, I guess we were sophomores at the time, but everybody that's in my grade now. And one thing that I will say can be kind of rough about D now is if you're not super close with people, it can be really hard. Because one thing that I like about D now is how much you open up and
Yeah.
like talk
Yeah,
about
for sure.
some things that you wouldn't talk to other people about. But that can also be kind of hard when you've got people you don't really know. And so
Yeah.
it's really I've been really trying to get some of my close friends to come. One, because I want to share that experience with them, but 2, it makes it easier to open up and really talk about your faith.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the call I get from most people is like that have never done a D now. Like they're asking me, like we've got a lot of new students this year.
Yeah,
a
we
lot
do.
of them, and that have come over the past couple of years, like just trying the church, and then they've decided to be here, and they've never like churches they came from didn't do D now or something. And anyway, I'm getting texts and calls all the time. It's like, what is D now? And like, if I don't know anybody real well, am I gonna be okay? And
Yeah,
what
yeah.
like my goal is for D now is like new people. Like let's say you have a guy involved that doesn't know you guys. Well, D now over the course of a weekend, they
Right.
should know you guys really, really well.
Right.
You know, and that was really without it meaning like I didn't mean for it to like connect with the D now this way, but like yesterday's message that I gave, it was like that was sort of the main point of like somebody that doesn't know you should by the end of a short period of
Whatever,
time should
yeah.
know you real well and like feel welcome by you guys. So
For sure.
I love that your memories are based around D now a lot. Like, you know.
Oh my gosh, yeah. They're just
Because it's in 3 weeks.
it's in 3
It's
weeks.
in 3 weeks, and I've been looking forward to it. Because
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't the same last year, not going to a host home and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah, and we're pulling that out again, and you know, I know that we had to postpone it, and then we ran into the Devils soccer season, and stuff like
yeah.
that. But you know, hopefully those players that have
Right,
tournaments
there we
and stuff, hopefully they can at least
But
come to some
the
sessions.
the thing is, by skipping it or by moving it to President's Day weekend, it would always, or in past years, it'd always be during BAM season,
Yeah.
basketball season. So I would always have to leave at some point on Saturday to
Yeah.
go play a game, and then come back. And Andrew Millar and Caleb and Rhett would too.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah,
I
I
didn't
wish
mean to just like name drop
I'm
them.
really glad y'all postponed it though because I had a race. I was in Oxford that weekend,
Yeah,
so I
you
wouldn't have been
wouldn't
able to
be
do
able
it.
to
So I'm grateful because I
No, yeah,
want my
when we
senior D
moved that a
now.
lot
Yeah,
of people could all of a sudden come, but then some people were like, "Oh, I'm bummed, I can't go
Nichols.
now." But
Yeah.
I think some of them.
We're dropping all the names.
Well, there's
I mean, all 5 of them play soccer. That's
well,
kind of
there were a
tough.
few. There were a few
Yeah,
baseball guys signed up, and now it's baseball season.
Yeah.
But they were like, "I'm gonna try to come to some things
At some
that
point.
even
Well,
though I
it's,
can't."
when I
there the whole
when I
time.
played soccer and I was always gone like the Friday and Saturday, the Sunday morning, that closing session is still always really. I mean,
Yeah.
It's awesome, isn't it? 'Cause
when you-
everybody's there.
When you
Yeah.
come and you totally forget that it's like D Now Sunday, and you get there and it's like, oh,
What's going on here? Yeah.
so there's a lot of you guys, and you all have sleeping bags.
Yeah, all of the classrooms are full of luggage.
yeah.
Last thing I'll say about D now is just one memory that stuck with me is your brother was, or your brother-in-law was our my group leader one
Shout
year.
out Coach Cade McGee.
Coach
ACA.
Cade McGee, who is ripped and he's like huge. Okay, so that's the point is that he's huge. He's a strength and conditioning coach.
It runs in the family. My family blood runs so thick that it got to his family.
Wow, that's crazy. After you married his sister, wow, that's a strong connection.
Sure, for
Anyway,
sure.
so he's huge, and it's like 12 o'clock, and I was in this bed in a D Now house, and the other guys, so I was in this room, and guys were in this other room, and they were being really loud. And he thought it was in my room, so it's like 12 o'clock, and he busts in my room, and I'm like half asleep, and he looks like the Hulk standing in the doorway, and I'm so afraid because I was trying to go to bed halfway asleep, and he busts in, and he's like, "Be quiet!" And then and he's huge. It was just like scariest moments in my life. I thought I was dreaming, and I was like, "Oh, it's just Kate."
Yeah. Now that his life,
There's the whole-
like his job
goodness.
is working out with players and athletes, like it would be even worse.
That's
now.
Nate's
I know.
dream,
It's scary,
right?
Yes, that would be
Strength
awesome.
and conditioning
Just to be a
coach.
strength and
All
conditioning-
you do is work out.
dude, that would be
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah,
That's the dream.
he's won some awards for strength and conditioning now,
I
so
would
that's
love
pretty
that.
cool. He's having
That's
a baby,
awesome.
by the way. Like
Oh.
they found out they're
Congrats.
having a little boy.
Oh.
It'll be May or no. It's a summer baby, I think. So
Oh, awesome.
like
Awesome.
August.
Awesome.
That's cool.
So, Rett, as a senior, we're going to kind of start the transition out of this thing because we've been talking for a while now. What's our time, Caleb?
God, it's
About
almost
an hour.
10:15. Wow.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
10:15.
Yeah. So as we
flies
kind
when
of
you're
get
having fun.
Right,
Rett
yeah.
as a senior, you've done youth life, you've done high school and middle school. What would you sort of words to current underclassmen, be it middle school, be it high school? What advice would you give as far as faith and handling school and all the kind of things you guys got to deal with? What would be some words of advice, encouragement you would give to them?
As far as faith, I definitely say like make it a priority. Like if possible, and I know like with sports and stuff it can be really hard, but make it a priority to come on Sunday mornings and come on Wednesday nights and get that time where it's not, and also make it a priority outside of that to sit down and read your Bible and to pray and talk to people about Jesus.
Yeah.
And then in school, I think like FCA has been huge for me. Like I've grown so much, both from like the FCA camps, and also from being a leader. You kind of get pushed into this like you gotta know how to bring other people to faith and how to defend your faith. So I think joining clubs and stuff that are Christian based is huge, and that has definitely that gives me a lot of people to talk to. Like if I'm going through something and I want some advice, I can talk to my peers or like our FCA sponsor at Bob Jones, because we have a meeting every week that's just the leaders, and that's a really awesome place to just sit down and talk about your faith and stuff. And then also I would just say like make sure that you surround yourself with people that make it a priority. Like out of our friend group, at least, I mean, Nate is probably the closest that to me that makes it a big priority. And so it's something that Nate and I share. And it's really nice to have somebody that is as close to me as Nate is just as a friend, also be that close to me in faith. So.
That's
Sure.
good.
Yeah.
So kind of piggybacking on this, and this is a question both of you can answer. But Nate, we'll let you have a last word too. But
All right.
like, how have you guys? Because one thing I hear is like you got to prioritize being there. One thing Maddie Baker said when I asked her kind of the same question, she was like, "Just show up. Just show up. Like you never know when you're gonna have that moment where God does something. And or God uses you to do something.
Yeah.
And so." How have you guys been able to? Because there's a lot of, let's just be honest, there's a lot of guys and girls your age that aren't very consistent with showing up, or they're not very consistent on just even making faith a priority. What have been sort of the secrets to you guys being so consistent in your faith and in like just attending church and being a part of that kind of stuff?
I mean, besides just making sure that I make time for it, like on Sundays and Wednesdays and stuff, I try and start every day with some form of praise or worship. Like either if I wake up and I don't have a ton of time, I'll make sure to start my day with prayer. And if I do have time, I'll read a chapter of my Bible, which right now I'm reading through Job. So every morning
Fun stuff.
Yeah, for sure. I'm trying to do that. It's a little bit depressing book, or at least in the beginning. Yeah,
Can be.
No,
but
it's
it's
heavy.
yeah, but
It's
it's
good, though.
yeah, it is a good book. But yeah, I try and start my day with that, just so I can immediately have that mindset of just a God-driven day. And I also have a prayer every morning that the Holy Spirit would lead me and like put me in the direction that I need to be for that day, and would help influence my decisions and the things I say, just so I can, just have a good start to my day. And that is something that definitely just throughout the day will help you put you in a good mindset, and just it's a good habit to have, is to just start your day with that. So that's important. That's pretty important to me. So I try and do that, and then if I can in the like I like to listen to music a lot. Like obviously we like worship and stuff, but I like a lot of different types of music. But the first music I try and listen to is also worship music, even if it's just one or two songs. It's just a good habit to have, and it's just it really will build your like commitment. Even if maybe you can't be there on a Wednesday or something, just doing that throughout the week will definitely help keep you in that mindset, and not just have it be a Sunday and Wednesday thing, but an everyday thing. So yeah.
I'd say for me, like a big thing with the consistency is like I said just a second ago, is friends. Like it's huge to have friends that will hold you accountable.
Man, yeah.
And I think having Nate and I've got other people in my life, but Nate is definitely a big one. That like if I kind of do, and like we all mess up and I make my fair share of mistakes, and Nate is one that is gonna kind of call me out on that, and not in an embarrassing way, but I've had multiple times where Nate's been like, "Hey, like, come on, like let's do better," and
vice versa. I mean, it doesn't just go that one way.
I remember of one time, and I'm not going to go into detail. I'm not going to go into detail.
Let's watch out about the one time.
Not at all going to go into detail. But I remember a time where I reached out to Nate, and I made sure to say, like, listen, everybody makes mistakes, and just because this one is like a pretty big mistake doesn't mean, one, that you're not going to recover, and just because I'm confronting you about it doesn't at all mean like that I don't love you. Like you are my brother, and I'm gonna I want to help you through this. Like this is everybody messes up sometimes, and so I guess I having friends in faith is just really makes a huge difference, and I think that helps with consistency. That I'm going to see Nate at school every single day, so if I am ever struggling with something, I can sit down and be like, and I've got plenty of other friends. It's just Nate is the first example because we have a class together, and so like it's really easy to talk to Nate about stuff like that.
Yeah, 100%.
Having people that'll call you out on things you're doing wrong is really important, because if you have friends that won't call you out, do they really care about like how you're doing? Especially in Christ, like, do they really want you to grow if they're not?
Well,
like,
the
helping
importance
you?
is that they call you out, but like there's not like a rejection about
Right.
it. It's I'm gonna
it's
say,
in a-
like I love the way Rett just put it. Is like, yeah, we can do better here. Like let's just to encourage you to
Not tear
I'm
you
with
down.
you in this,
Yeah.
but let's change the trajectory a little bit.
Right. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and just having friends, that's a big thing that you need, and just having somebody to talk to. I mean, even if they're not your closest friend, but somebody that may understand what you're going through, or just that you feel like you can confide in and talk about things that are going on in your life. It's really important. Especially, godly friends that you can do that with. Right. That's incredibly important. Yeah.
Linda, what you got?
No, I love it. Y'all are wise beyond your years. But like you're saying, just having those people, because we have a number of students who will come to us and be like, well, there's no one this and there's no one that. Well, if we got all those no ones together.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Man, it blows my mind. It was like there's a whole group of no ones.
Yeah, I don't have anybody. It's like, well, you know what? We will assign you a somebody.
Yeah, there's a lot of somebody.
It would be easy.
Yeah.
It would be easy. So.
Yeah, for sure.
It's like, even if you don't feel like showing up, like show up for somebody, you know. Like, you know,
And D now helps with that. I mean, like that throughout
Say
that
it
weekend.
again. Say it louder.
Throughout
Nate.
that weekend,
D now helps
you
with
grow,
that.
Yeah, D now helps with that. I mean, you grow close to people that you may haven't talked to a ton
Yeah.
before. I mean, that just it creates fellowship, and that is carried on to. I know. I mean, I've grown closer with a lot of church friends throughout D now.
Yeah.
And I mean, that just helps. It's
Yeah.
just
Do you feel
awesome.
like it's a fear of judgment? Like, is like if I make myself vulnerable to somebody, they're gonna judge me negatively, something like that.
I think maybe, but I also think I think a lot of us just don't really think through that, and I think sometimes it's just straight up that people are lazy or don't want to
And, like, I'll just-
if I'm
yeah,
being
I
honest,
feel that way too.
Like,
if I'm being
fine.
honest, I will say another big thing about like consistency in friends is like pretty often I will show up. I mean, I have to be here on Wednesdays, like otherwise we don't really have much of a service.
We don't.
Well, thanks.
No, I'm just like who
He's
else?
just here so he doesn't get fined.
Who is gonna Marshawn Lynch? who is gonna? This is not like I did not mean to like make that like I mean I feel a responsibility to be here on
Yeah.
Wednesdays because then I would feel like hey, like that's on me if
Well,
something.
you have taken ownership. Yeah.
And but a big thing that pushes me to show up on Sundays, other than that I want to come and grow, is that there are people that I'm only going to see at church, and I want to come and check in on them, like because if I skip a Sunday because I'm too tired, and then something happens to somebody that I'm only going to see on Sunday, man, I would
I
feel
feel
horrible.
bad.
Stinks. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I think like that. I think for a lot of people, for me, I feel the same way you feel. That's an awesome thing that you've got people that like are your church people, and like we have so many students from so many different schools that should be like hanging out, you know, because of their faith and their connection here. But that's also, I think, for the person entering in is the scary thing too. It's like, man,
Yeah.
I'm from James Clemens, all these Bob Jones people, I don't know what to do.
Yeah, I think there are certainly upsides to big youth groups, but I think that can also be if you come in, you don't know anybody. That can be a
It's a culture thing, man.
Yeah.
We've got to make it a welcoming and
Yeah.
warm culture for sure.
Yeah.
You got anything else to ask these guys?
I don't think so.
This has been awesome.
I know. I'm so
it's
proud
fun.
of you guys.
I knew when
Y'all
they
just
were
make
gonna
me
like
proud.
be like the dynamic duo up there. I was like, this is gonna be a fun conversation. So,
when do we come back?
Yeah.
well, we'll see. We'll see.
See how many views we get.
This is fun. I like this a lot.
If
Yeah, this is awesome.
and here's what I know about these guys. Like,
They will be back, so
well,
they don't get
I
fined.
we'll see. But they're gonna like cause our viewership to go sky high because they're
Yeah.
gonna go out and they're gonna share it. Because I'll
will.
tell you, here's the
And it's
here's,
gonna be like I called your name
here's
and I
the-
called your name.
here's
Sending
the-
this to
Your
Isaac
name?
right now.
here's the influence that these guys have. There was one time, and I can't remember if it was Nate or Rett was going to speak one Wednesday night, and so all of a sudden, because one of those guys were speaking, like all of their friend
Yeah.
groups
That was when you spoke,
That was my
and
week,
wasn't
yeah.
it?
It was when you
I
spoke
invited-
too.
Well, it was
Yeah,
when
with you
he
too.
spoke, and then we
That
got a
was
lot
your
of people.
birthday
We got a lot of
party.
people.
It was
on
like
our
a birthday party for Rett,
Was it- yeah,
and it was
wasn't it
like
both?
20
Was that
new
the same
people
week
showed
that you
up.
spoke?
It was the same week. His
You
birthday.
spoke
His
on my
birthday
birthday.
was yeah. I spoke on his birthday, so we invited like everyone.
I'm pretty.
we
there's
knew.
a picture, and there's like 30 of us.
There's-
just
Yeah,
on
there's-
Look, I
these
showed
guys
up and I
have
was like,
a
I
lot
don't
of
know
us.
any of
Yeah,
these
these guys have
Yeah.
influence. That was a fun night.
And
was very
I mean, a
fun.
few of them still come.
I'd love.
A
Yeah,
few of them have been
Ryan
consistent,
and Gary have
Ryan
come
and
back.
Gary. Yeah,
a
I talked to
lot.
Sarah yesterday at the gym. I
Yeah.
saw her. I was like, "You gonna be there Wednesday?"
She's been trying to come. I know she's been real busy on Wednesdays, but she
yeah, for
texted me a while back. It's just really nice to see these people that like you've known in your personal life, and then you invite them to church like to play mud volleyball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they start showing up.
they stick
every
around.
They start
Yeah,
showing
they
up
stick
every Wednesday
around.
night. It's a really great feeling.
It's awesome.
You never know when Jesus is going to get you.
Mud volleyball. Has
And
there
mud
ever been a
volleyball.
better thing
Mud
created?
volleyball. No.
Regular
So
volleyball.
good.
All right. Well,
Soccer.
hey, we're glad you guys were on figuring it out. Sounds like you've
For
got a
sure.
lot of things figured out.
Yeah.
And, you know, but this is that we're helping other people figure it out. Figure out how to live faithfully in just a messed up, jacked up world. Linda, any closing remarks? You guys got any closing remarks? You want to say just one line of anything? Roll Tide.
Have a great week. Yeah, that works too.
I don't know. To quote my dad, whatever you do, strive not to be stupid.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
There you
Okay,
go.
of
That's
course.
a
That's
nice.
going to be
a
my
good
next
life quote.
poster.
That's a nice.
It's
Chrome.
almost my
next,
senior quote.
next gift.
Chrome quote.
I like that one.
Caleb, anything you want to shout out? Man, we missed you today. All right, that's it for figuring it out. Please listen, like, and share for these guys, and let's see you next week. Thank you for listening.